Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's teaching. This is a series, Art of Religion into a Personal Walk with God. So, our topic today is maintaining a safe spiritual atmosphere. I say it again, maintaining a safe spiritual atmosphere. Atmosphere is the things that happen around you. So, as a Christian, how do I maintain a safe spiritual atmosphere around me? I started by saying that your destiny is important to both yourself and to God. How you turn out in life, your destiny, is not just only important to you as a person, it's also important to God. So it will be a great advantage if you learn or inculcate practices that will help your destiny. You should try to maintain a certain level of sensitivity and alertness that will help you or keep the enemy on their toes. So I wrote out a few things I mentioned that could help us. The first thing I said, be sensitive in the spirit. As a child of God, don't just take things at face value. This is black. Okay, the color is black. Don't just let it end there. Do not judge situations at face value. Do not live an ordinary life because you're not ordinary. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, no, this is my friend. It doesn't matter. It does matter. This is my friend, and she told me that she's a Christian. She goes to church. So that's it. No, it's not like that. A lot of lives have been wasted by such carelessness, that kind of thinking. Oh, she's my friend. She goes to church. Pay attention to things around you. Do not live like everyone else. Because if you're a serious Christian, you are the target. The Bible said the enemy goes about like a roaring lion looking for who to devour. The enemy don't bother with who is not serious with God. The Bible says looking around, hovering around, looking for who to devour. Now, if you're a serious child of God, of course he's looking for you to devour you. Now, imagine that you are the one Satan is targeting and you are living the life of it doesn't matter. Oh, no, this is my friend. I know her 5 years ago. And then she was a Christian. This is 10 years later. Oh, no, she's good. It's not right. It's not always good. If you're a part-time or non-serious Christian, the enemy already have you with him. So you don't pose a problem to him. But you are somebody that you know you have destiny. You have a great destiny to fulfill. You don't live carelessly. We've seen situations like Samson had a great destiny, but he didn't take it serious. He ended at his early grave. So I said it again, be a little more sensitive to your environment. Ask God for discernment so you know what is happening around you. We are going to take our first reading in Genesis chapter 18, verse 2 to 4. I'm not going to read it to save time. I'll just tell us a story. Abraham was sitting outside his house. He saw two men going past his premises. He went to them and spoke with them. He just saw them passing. How did Abraham knew that these men were different? I mean, people pass that street every time. He just saw them. He went and talked to them. How did he know that these men were different? He went to them, stopped them, showed them, asked them. In fact, he invited them over. Oh, come and rest a little in my house before you continue your journey. Something must have ministered to him, or he must have noticed something different about them. He spoke with them and showed them some hospitality. This act could have caused him, this act of showing them hospitality could have caused God to also show him favor. We should ask God for discernment, high spiritual sensitivity, just as Abraham. His good work or his discernment ended up good for him. Because while he invited the men to his house, they entered his house. He offered them drink and food. It was while they were at his house eating than one of the angels now told the Lord, "Oh, I perceive the wife has no child." That was how Abraham was born. That was how his first son, Isaac, was born. Imagine he didn't invite the angels. Actually, the angels were en route to Sodom. They were going to destroy Sodom. So, but when Abraham intercepted them and invited them, it was while they were in his house, they now spoke, "Oh, he has no son." That's how the Lord now said, by this time next, they're going to have a son. His act of kindness, his sensitivity. So I'm saying that we should not live ordinarily. We should ask God for discernment. Okay, so continuing on that thought, we are also going to look at the people or someone whose own discernment worked negatively. I will even call it discernment. That there was no discernment I see. So that should be in the book of 1 Kings 13 verse 1 to 6. We're going to read it. This one, I'm not going to call it discernment. There's no discernment. So this happened to be when King Jeroboam was the king. So let me read. 1 Kings chapter 13. By the word of the Lord, a man of God came from Judah to battle. As King Jeroboam was standing by the altar to make an offering, by the word of the Lord, he cried out against the altar. Altar, altar, this is what the Lord says. The background story is that Jeroboam refused to serve God. He stopped the Israelites from going to where God had asked them to be going to worship God. He now built a place for the Israelites to go and worship God, because he felt if they keep going to a farther place, their hearts will be turned against him. So he now built an altar in Bethel. The altar he built, God didn't permit him. So he goes there to make the Israelites to go there and worship whatever God they are worshiping. I'm not sure it's the right God they are worshiping. So one of these days, the angel of God came to that altar and prophesied against the altar. So that's what we are hearing here. When you say altar, altar, this is what the Lord is saying. A son named Josiah will be born to the house of David. On you he will sacrifice the priest of the high places who make offerings here, and human bones will be burned on you. That same day the man of God gave a sign. This is the sign the Lord has declared. The altar will be split apart and the ashes on it will be poured out. So the angel of the Lord was prophesying against the altar. Say one day a child of God called Josiah will come and destroy this altar, which is not an altar of God, because this is not what God permitted King Jeroboam to do. So when King Jeroboam had this, he didn't like it. Verse 5 of it said, when the King Jeroboam heard what the man of God said against the altar at Bethel, he stretched out his hand from the altar and said, seize him. King Jeroboam, the angel of God that prophesied, the man of God that prophesied, he says, seize him. Sorry, excuse me, he's not an angel, he's a man of God. He just said, seize him. So the hand he stretched out says, seize that prophet of God. That hand withered. So when King Jeroboam saw that his hand was withered, he now asked the prophet of God. Then the king said to the man of God, intercede with the Lord your God and pray for me that my hand may be restored. So King Jeroboam asked the prophet of God to pray for his hand that was withered to be restored. So the man of God interceded with the Lord, and the king's hand was restored, was restored and became as it was before. So when the prophet of God prophesied against the altar, King Jeroboam raised his hand to stop him, say, seize him. His hand was withered. He now begged the prophet to pray for him, for his hand was to become okay. His hand was restored and he was okay. So the prophet of God was now about to go home. The King Jeroboam asked him not to go home. He should stay and eat bread. The prophet of God said, no, I can't stay. I was asked not to stay. So let's read verse 11 of it, what happened. Now there was a certain old prophet living in Bethel, whose sons came and behold, told him all that happened that day. So while King Jeroboam was having this encounter with the prophet of God, there are an old prophet whose sons were also at the scene of this incident. They now went home and told their father what's happened. Oh, today at the temple, so prophet came and prophesied against the altar. And when King Jeroboam tried to stop him, his hand was withered. And the prophet of God restored it. So when the son that narrated this story to the old prophet, let's see what he did in verse 18. So the old prophet answered. The old prophet ran after the new prophet that was already going home and met him. This is what he told him. In verse 18, the old prophet answered, I too am a prophet, and you are, as you are. And an angel of God said to me, by the word of the Lord, bring him back with you to your house, so that he may eat bread and drink water. God have told this prophet, young prophet, after doing what you are going there to do, don't stop at anybody's house, don't eat. If King Jeroboam asked him to, when King Jeroboam asked him to stop over and eat in his house, he refused. He refused to eat there. But when the old prophet now saw him, and tell him that God has spoken to him, the old prophet, that comes back to my house and eats. The new prophet or the young prophet accepted. Serious mistake. Accepted and believed the old prophet. So I said, and believed the old prophet and went back with the old prophet to eat and to drink. So let's read verse 19. The old prophet answered. Verse 19 said, so the man of God returned with him and ate and drank in his house. After the old prophet deceived him and told him, oh, God has spoken to me, come back and eat, the young prophet followed the old prophet back to his house and ate and drank. The Bible said that by verse 20, while they were sitting at the table, the word of the Lord came to the old prophet who had brought him back. He cried to the man of God and who had come from Judah, this is what the Lord says, you have defied the word of the Lord and have not kept the command of the Lord your God. You came back and ate bread and drank water in the place where he told you not to. Therefore, your body would not be buried in the tomb of your ancestors. Verse 23. When the man of God had finished eating and drinking, the prophet who had brought him back saddled his donkey for him. As he went on his way, a lion met him on the road and killed him, and his body was left lying on the road, with both the donkey and the lion standing beside it. So I said, what a waste. You have come to this one. That's why the topic is being sensitive. So I'm talking about discernment. This prophet came and God gave him an instruction what to do. And he fulfilled part A of the instruction. King Jeroboam asked him the same thing. Come back to my house and eat. He said no. So when the old prophet now tell him the same thing, he was deceived. He followed him back to his house and ate and drank. And the same old prophet that deceived him was the one that still prophesied to him that as he was going home, he's going to get killed. So I said, what a waste. You get your first instruction from God. If God have changed his mind, I want to say, okay, go back and eat. God still would have talked to you. So I said, many of us make some errors like this. Valuable life and properties have been lost by listening to any kind of voice. If God can be so kind enough to talk to you, the young prophet, and tell you what to do, give you instruction. The people say it's a direct instruction from God. Why don't you wait to hear from God directly again? Why do you have to listen to somebody else? So it is not right when we listen to every kind of voice. God spoke to you, go back to him in prayer or anyhow. You communicate with him. God, you asked me to do this. I've finished this assignment. But this prophet asked me to come back. Did you say that or not? Since it's God that gave you instruction, he will answer you and say yes or no. You can maintain a safe spiritual atmosphere by this is another point. I finished with that one. So this is another point I'm using now. Also, you can maintain a safe, a healthy, safe environment around you by fasting. So I'm just saying that another way you can control your environment, knowing what I'm around you, is when you fast. When you fast and pray, God can also talk to you. As my own thinking, I'm saying this now. I'm saying that I don't think it's right for a Christian to stay a whole month eating and drinking without fasting for one day. I am saying I don't think it's right. What are you eating for? What's the food about? When the enemy is running rampage all over the place and you're busy eating for good 1 month, a Christian, no fasting for one day, no 2 days, no 3 days fasting, just eat and eat and eat, morning, lunch and dinner. I'm saying I don't think that's right. There's a constant war going on in the atmosphere. In Ephesians chapter 2 verse 1 to 3 says, as for you, you are dead in your trespasses and sins, in which you used to live when you followed the ways of the world and of the rulers of this kingdom of the air, the spirit who is now at work in those who act disobediently. When you go about eating and drinking, you don't spend time to fast. And what we learn here that the spirit of the wicked one, kingdom of darkness, hovers around the air, trying to do as if they're going to control the world. But when you fast, it means you're denying yourself of your meal to seek God. Use that time to pray more. Use that time to read more. You sing praises to God. This will take care of spiritual atmosphere around you. It will also increase your sensitivity, your own personal antenna. It will come up. You hear God better. You can hear God more. You can make better choices. If you allow the enemy to control the atmosphere around you, he can send his demons to infiltrate the atmosphere around you. If the atmosphere around you is infiltrated with bad things will keep happening. if the environment around you is being controlled, you didn't control it, there was no prayer to change some things. What will happen is the things Satan released. Demons will be around. When demons are around, what will happen? Sickness, death, suffering. Satan will not give you what he doesn't have. What Satan have no good health. He have no health. He have nowhere to give you. So when you allow him to take control of the environment, what you will see is bad things that will happen. So I'm saying that you can use fasting to control your environment. Don't just eat and think that things will be okay. No. We have to be a little more sensitive. Also, fasting can break strongholds. Stronghold of the devil. When Jesus Christ apostle was trying to heal a man that was deaf and dumb, they could not. That was in Mark chapter 9 verse 29. Jesus told them, this type does not go except by prayer and fasting. So sometimes you pray and fast to get some answer. So finally, the last topic I'm saying is that do not take major decisions without proper prayer, hearing from God. You know, we hear things like, oh, that man is a prayer warrior, but we don't know how he married a witch. Oh, we don't know how he married a demonic agent. Oh, I don't know whether this kind of news bothers you. For me, it bothers me, right? This is a pastor, but they said that pastor's wife is a witch. How does that happen? Was there enough prayer made? Was God consulted enough? I don't think God will keep quiet and watch you enter fire. If you don't spend enough time praying, fasting, seeking his face, bad things will keep happening. So I'm saying that we should be more sensitive in the spirit. Decisions that are heavy, there are decisions that are life-changing. I mean, marriage is one of them. If you want to get married or those kind of important decisions, applying for a new job, changing your home, I don't see why it will not take you, if it take you weeks or months to make sure you hear from God. They are major decisions. It's not what you hurry to. If you hurry to and end up marrying the wrong person, you will not take another how many months praying, oh God, don't let this marriage fail. Don't let this marriage fall. Because even when God approved the marriage, that could be a problem. So let it now be that there was not enough prayer. So I'm saying that let's be able to control our spiritual environment. Let's be more sensitive in the spirit. Ask God to help us, the ones we cannot do. Ask God for discernment. We should not be careless. We should not live like any person. You don't just judge things at face value. Oh, he's my friend, I know her. No, you don't know her. You don't know what happened. Always depend on God's Spirit to help you. He will help you when you call upon him. Spirit of God is a gentleman. He wants you to ask. Pray and ask. If you ask today, you didn't receive, keep asking. Because it will be better you spend extra year to pray and ask God to answer you in a major decision than you make a mistake. Imagine a prayer warrior. There's a story we had not long ago. A prayer warrior died. A witch turned to an old woman who's a witch turned to a young girl and entered the church where he was. One thing led to other. They get together. He married her. Less than a few months, he died. Why? Because Satan have targeted him. Taken on that he prays. So, but when he reached to decision making, he didn't spend time. He didn't wait on God. And Satan was happy to destroy him. We can't be allowing lives to be destroyed by our own impatience and carelessness. God is ready to help us, but he needs us to ask. He wants us to wait for him. He wants to know whether we are serious about what we are asking for him. That is it for today. Thank you.